Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. Are you holding your commerce back? There's nothing wrong with being confident, presented by Sitecore Partner Horizontal Integration. A couple announcements before we begin. We are recording today's presentation, which will be emailed to you after the event. And we encourage you to also check out the bonus resources box on your screen, where you can access today's slide deck and other relevant resources. Joining us today from Horizontal Integration is Matt Fairchild, Vice President of Technology, and Arturo Mendiola, Vice President of Client Strategy. Matt brings to today's presentation more than 2 decades of solving business problems through technology. He also holds several patents for tech-related breakthroughs, and he has helped build lasting solutions for a diverse range of brands, including Mayo Clinic, Minnesota Vikings, Belize Tourism Board, and Baylor College of Medicine. Arturo has been leading client businesses through digital strategy and activation, earning his stripes on holistic marketing campaigns, as well as enterprise technology and digital transformation. You can read more about Matt and Arturo in the presenters box on your webinar screen. But at this point, I will turn things over to the presenters.
Thanks everyone for your time today and for joining the webinar. Dave, thanks for the introduction. Yeah,
turn the music down.
Oh, sorry. Hopefully everyone can hear us better now. As Dave mentioned, I'm Arturo, VP of Client Strategy here at HI. Alongside me, I have my trusty sidekick, Matt. Matt, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Matt, responsible for technology and the sidekick.
And if you can't tell, we are fans of Demi Lovato. We're actually going to her concert this weekend here in Minneapolis, so maybe we'll see you there. But anyway, her song Confident was actually kind of the muse behind our webinar today, and in particular answering that question, are you holding your commerce back? Because as Demi says, what's wrong with being confident?
Well, there's nothing wrong with being
Absolutely nothing. So as you probably know, and the reason why you're probably joining today's webinar, you're aware that Sitecore recently just launched their new and improved commerce solution back in January. And you're also probably wondering if this Sitecore commerce solution is a viable solution for your business, because we were actually wondering the same thing. Does it live up to the hype?
So Sitecore Commerce has its roots in an old product. It started back in 1996 with Microsoft Commerce Server, and it went through a number of hands, and then Sitecore acquired it from commerceserver.net in 2013. HI has watched the Sitecore product grow from a small CMS to the product that we have today. When commerce became a thing, we became very deeply interested in it. Then we were very patiently waiting for it to launch 9.0 in January. And what we were really waiting for is for Sitecore to put their fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, and I think to Matt's point, over time, they didn't have their full fingerprints on it. I think there were still some legacy things that could be improved upon. And so as great companies do, Sitecore learned from its past, and they really dug into the solution to make it something better and something a lot more viable that brands like yourselves can really use to drive your online business. So with any product launch, there are typically product claims. And when we were researching the pending launch of the Sitecore Commerce 9.0, there are a few that rose to the top. And so first, what we learned is that the intent is that it would drive a more cohesive, seamless, and end-to-end shopping experience. Second, it would simplify the marketing enterprise architecture. Third, it would unify commerce and experience analytics. Fourth, it would reduce dependency on custom development. Fifth, it would increase operational and cost efficiencies. And last, certainly not least, this is one that's near and dear to my heart, is that you could design and activate an engaging and immersive shopping experience on top of the platform. So with product claims also come disclaimers. And so with these claims, we actually wanted to put them to the test, which is why we're here today. So today you're going to see a demo, but it's not just any demo. We just didn't want to share and demo software to you today. We actually wanted to share the why behind it. So we're going to tell this story through a persona and a journey, albeit a hypothetical one, via a marketer and a brand. And this story is certainly inspired via direct experience that we've had with a number of our clients that are facing a similar challenge in terms of them considering Sitecore Commerce. The demo will be presented through the eyes of a marketer, again, in this persona. And it's going to go through the story of the key decision points along the way as to why one might consider and select Sitecore Commerce, how it could be implemented to support marketing and technology stakeholders, and how you actually could configure it in a way to react to market demands and customer needs. So without further ado, let's introduce Heather, VP of Experience and Digital Marketing at Big Blue, an electronics retailer. Heather is new to her role and new to Big Blue. The company's never had a VP of Experience before Heather taking on this position. At the same time, actually, Big Blue is going through a transformation, both in terms of its brand and its digital presence.
As you can see by this incredible logo.
Super fancy logo.
Yeah.
But before we take a look ahead in terms of how they're transforming, let's take a quick look back at Big Blue's technology history. So in 2003, Big Blue opened its doors mainly as a brick and mortar retail outlet.
Which was around the time that MySpace launched.
Will you friend me later?
If that's what you do on MySpace, yeah, sure.
And then a year later, BigBlue.com actually launched their site, but mainly as brochureware via WordPress.
The iPod scroll wheel was hot then, and then they started working on how to get rid of it.
In 2006, a couple years later, BigBlue.com then formally and officially introduced e-commerce functionality to the site via Magento.
Which is when Twitter was unveiled at South by Southwest.
They actually just say South by, Matt, not South by.
No. Okay, great.
So the cool kids say.
All right.
Between the years of 2007 and 2013, BigBlue.com then just made a series of incremental upgrades and improvements and enhancements to the platform.
Which happens to be when Google released their suggestive search.
And then in 2014, BigBlue.com migrated from WordPress to a more robust, scalable backend CMS platform, Sitecore 8, which then integrated with Magento via Commerce Connect.
It's not technology.
It is the internet, Matt.
Okay, all right.
So in terms of getting through this transformation, there were three main challenges that Heather had to face. The first being the current technology stack at the time, and the engine behind her e-commerce solution was really just a collection of disparate systems. Next, then, because of that, this made it hard to understand and track consumer journeys end to end. So essentially, there was really no definitive way to determine direct causation to conversion. And it was all just kind of analyzed through delayed anecdotal assumptions on correlative data points. And then the last, it's time and resource intensive to make updates to the website, whether that be a product launch, promotions. All of these efforts were truly sort of dependent on IT or development resources to make these updates. So Heather's goal at the end of the day was to launch BigBlue.com as a pillar of the brand's transformation from a brick and mortar chain to an on-demand digital retail experience. In order to do that, Heather really had a two-pronged approach. And at the highest level, it's basically the convergence of experience and enterprise. So with experience, she needed to redesign BigBlue.com to meet the expectations of millennial customers. And these are digital natives who demand delight of use. They want and need guided shopping utility, all wrapped in a beautiful design. And in doing so, do this while bringing to life the rebranding initiative that we showed you earlier with the new logo and identity, et cetera. On the other side of the coin is enterprise. She needed to build this site within a technology ecosystem that increased internal operational efficiencies while also scaling for future brand expansion and user demand.
So basically, it needs to be hot and it needs to scale.
Exactly, Matt. So to bring her vision to life, Heather went into a discovery and exploration exercise. And with any experiment, there's a hypothesis. And Heather's hypothesis was, if BigBlue.com is already governed by Sitecore Experience Management Platform, then integrating with Experience Commerce would create a more seamless shopping experience. And in order to validate and test that hypothesis, she also had to answer some questions that she was getting from her executive leadership team. The first, and always seems the first question that you get, is how much is this going to cost? The second was, can Experience Commerce scale to support the growing product catalog? Because as they were going through a period of transformation, they were also going through a period of growth. And Big Blue was currently, at the time, 50,000 SKUs, and over the next couple of years, they were going to grow to offer almost 200,000 SKUs. And last, but more of a rhetorical question, was, don't we already have Magento? Because with that solution, time had already been invested, along with money and training. So what would be the justification for moving away from it?
So Heather is doing diligence, and she came up with 3 technology options. The first one, behind door number 1, is what we call the handoff. Sitecore controls non-commerce presentation, while Magento controls commerce presentation. The pros are it's potentially faster time to market, and the cons are there's more technologies, disconnected experience analytics, some level of UI integration is still required. Just simple things like showing the cart status in the header across all the experiences. Behind door number 2 is the hybrid experience, which basically uses Magento in a headless manner. The pros is Sitecore controls all the presentation, which it's pretty good at. The cons is it's unnecessary integration points, limits the use of investment in Magento already, and it's complex just to be complex. And then finally, behind door number 3 is the seamless approach, Sitecore with Sitecore Commerce. The pros are one technology and a single source of digital truth. Cons are it takes some time and effort to migrate from one solution to another. It also takes time and effort to do it the right way. So let's walk through 2 options, door number 1 and door number 3. Heather quickly eliminated door number 2, the Magento headless option, because her IT team agreed with me that it was that it was overly complex with very little benefit. So the first option is the handoff, Sitecore Magento side by side, which is what they have now. This option was originally viable when BigBlue solely relied on modules provided through Magento's marketplace, but it resulted in a subpar user experience. UX and design have come a long way since 2006 when BigBlue originally integrated with Magento. So as you can see in the diagram, Sitecore on top has the product pages, the product marketing content, site content, and then it's connected through Sitecore Commerce Connect back to Magento for product catalog and pricing. Magento is controlling the cart and the checkout process. And then it's also the system of record for carts, orders, and promotions, and then integrates back to the ERP. So Heather saw an opportunity for a significant reduction in complexity when she was looking at the Sitecore Commerce platform. Additionally, she was able to achieve a number of her goals. So she recommended the seamless approach. And those goals that she was able to achieve are, she was able to create a singular system of record within the enterprise for both pricing and product marketing. She can unify the content entry experience and remove the need to sync product data between Magento and Sitecore. She can drive operational efficiencies by simplifying code deployments and stabilizing infrastructure and platform updates. And she can realize cost savings by leveraging an existing investment with Sitecore and its scalable infrastructure. So the path forward. The first thing that she really needs to do is upgrade from Sitecore 8 to Sitecore 9 and install Commerce. She also instructed her team to leverage commerce components as much as possible so that the efforts spent by our front-end team were focused on moments of joy in the experience that drove conversion versus just completing the transaction. And then also, she needed to shift the integration of the CRM, POS, and ERP solutions from Magento to Commerce, just Sitecore Commerce.
Yeah. So this is the before. As you can see, I think it was a good idea that Big Blue hired Heather. The current experience could use a lot of help. And so this is where Heather really spearheaded the initiative, not only just to redesign the site to meet today's standards, but she really wanted to push it to be at the leading edge of what a commerce experience could be. So without further ado, enough of the theater, right? Introducing BigBlue.com 2.0. As you can see, the site has adopted the new branding and style guide standards. So logo, identity, color palette, and fonts. Heather really pushed her teams for frictionless functionality on the site. So starting with the product listing page, the assets for the product have been really put front and center, having the photography increased in size while also more thoughtfully displaying the associated product specs. The product listing page also has a promotional component at the top of the page that's content managed. This component can highlight sales or new product launches. So if we go into Sitecore, let's take a look under the hood. We've set this hero component on the product listing page as an A/B test. So this test can leverage experience analytics to display better performing content, which in turn will drive better conversion. So in this case, it's comparing headlines in the hero component to determine which one might drive a higher click-through rate. So as you can see here, version A, the headline is on sale now, the perfect time to buy. And if we go to version B, we're going to test that against price drop, a perfect time to buy. Now, if we go back to the site, additionally, the product listing page includes functionality that users have come to expect from a modern retail shopping experience. So on the left-hand side, product faceting narrows down the product selection to brand, TV technology specs, price, and ratings. As the user interacts with the filtering functionality on the left, the center chord of the products listed dynamically change and display those relevant products based on the selections made on the left. Now, if we dive into a product detail page, you can see that browsing content is always going to be connected to purchase functionality. So as you scroll down, the product price and add to cart button lock to the top of the page via sticky nav. Parallax is used to view product specs, along with being the trigger for the ambient background to change from lifestyle to product hero photography. For the persona segment expert Edie, who knows what they want and really like to do that exhaustive research, the site displays in-depth information including things like screen size, definition of the TV, etc., in really easy, snackable, in a snackable manner. So additionally, carrots indicate elements on the page that have drop-down menus to expand displaying more product info. Now, if we switch back to Sitecore, you can see how we're pulling this information from the product catalog.
So from the Sitecore Commerce dashboard, we'll go into the merchandising menu to look through our product catalogs. We have Big Blue Master, which is our primary catalog, and then we'll go into the Big Blue Master category, and we'll find one of the sellable TVs. On here, we can see this TV as part of the winter sale pricing cart. We can see the list price. We can see the different images associated with it, the specs from our ERP, the warranty information, and all of the related product detail, including 2 product variants, which are set up by size. So let's go now into promotions. We just walked through the winter sale. Now I'll walk through the super sale that's in the process of being set up for the month of February and March. Right now, the super sale is for one item. The benefit we can choose for the benefit we can choose to apply the amount to the cart for a % off, or even just to list off the sale price. With qualifications, we can add things like, is the contact registered? Is it the current day of the month? And then we can stack these conditions with either the and or the or operator. Additionally, we can use a product coupon. Here it's a 100 off that the user can apply in the cart.
Great. So if we go back to the site experience, picking up where we left off, the site also displays other complementary products to help drive incremental cross-sell. Additionally, if we scroll down further, product reviews help round out the experience so users can validate purchase consideration. And then additionally, one of Heather's other key requirements was to prominently display and give users access to Big Blue support. So everything from order and or installation support, the site really tries to infuse features to make the holistic pre- and post-purchase experience frictionless. So with the engine sitting on Sitecore, BigBlue.com also tracks user behavior in a non-creepy way, of course, to showcase other products that the user has previously viewed or showed interest in. Now, given the overwhelming options in electronics, and in particular when shopping for a TV, it's kind of easy for analysis paralysis to set in. So BigBlue.com 2.0 aimed to really strike that balance between product content with guided utility. So Heather championed the guided shopping experience to be a priority within the site redesign MVP feature set. So the experience really uses clear and conversational language to guide users. In this case, we use the persona Help Me Hector and that mental model to create this flow. The initial view, as you can see here, has a fun animation that cycles through different sizes to really try to engage and drive traffic to click through to get started. So once in the guided experience, it's really just a series of intuitive questions with simple multiple choice selections, beginning with, where will you be installing and watching the TV?
In the living room.
What will you be watching?
Movies.
How far away from the TV will you be sitting?
Extremely close.
And the number of devices that will be plugged in?
I only have one.
Okay. Will you be streaming any services?
Of course.
Netflix. And then what is your price range?
Very cheap.
So upon completing and answering these questions, the site outputs a curated list of product recommendations that meet the user's specified needs. So these products then, again, are displayed directly underneath the guided experience so users can quickly access and begin the process of purchase. As mentioned earlier, and as you saw through that guided experience, moments of joy, as Heather called them, were infused via these fun graphic animations that truly embodied Big Blue's new brand personality and values as an approachable, fun retail brand.
So let's go into the back end of the guided experience. Again, this is where having your content management system integrated with your commerce platform can be really powerful. So the guided experience. So the questions and answers in the guided experience are content manageable. So we're going to install the TV. We're going to install it in the living room. So each one of these answers are items that have an attribute that is a Sitecore rule. So using the Sitecore rules engine, we can drive search criteria to recommend products. Let's go in and edit the living room rule and take a look, where the screen size is a number greater than or equal to 46 inches. So the criteria of screen size is based on a list of attributes on the Sitecore virtual items that are from the Commerce product catalog. These rules are executed as the user answers questions in the guided experience. All this together really kind of sets a vision for content manageable configurators that are commonly required by business and e-commerce.
Great. So go back to the site. with a recommendation in hand, the user can now go through an easy add to cart and purchase process. The add to cart and checkout order management functionality was all created leveraging components within Sitecore's SXA library, which is great because instead of having to build these components from scratch, this gave Heather a lot of flexibility both in terms of time and resources to have either her agency partner or her IT teams to focus their efforts on other things, whether it was functionality or features that were high priority. Now with these SXA components, as you can see, they have the standard form fields for entering your information, address. You can pick your preferred method of shipping, your contact information, so email address. It's tied into PayPal. And then again, with the billing address, it has the option to have that be the same as the billing address, and then continuing on to confirm the purchase. Once you confirm the order, the final screen indicates that, thank you, you bought something.
There's an order. So Sitecore Commerce allows you to go into the system to track orders. So let's do that. So should Hector call a customer service representative, the CSR can go in and find the order, which would be pending. And here it is. Click. So the CSR can go in and cancel the order or put the order on hold, or the fulfillment management system would take over. The CSR can go in and review payments associated with this order, and then depending on the workflow state, they can go in and add, edit, delete line items or request an RMA for a line item.
So now that you've seen the demo and you've seen Heather's journey as she went through the process of selecting Sitecore Experience Commerce and bringing it onto BigBlue.com, a few things that you might want to think about as you go down this path. One, keep the data simple with a singular system of record. Two, as Matt mentioned earlier, simplify your content entry experience. So again, that's where the convergence of Sitecore and the base platform of the CMS and the experience management platform really come together. Build a technology ecosystem that's streamlined and simple, which leads into this next point of really you can minimize costs by picking a singular marketing enterprise, i.e. Sitecore, and that technology to invest in and build around. One of the other questions that we've gotten as we've gone down this path and discussed both with clients as well as prospects about the potential and viability of Sitecore Commerce is what brand or size of company is right for Sitecore Commerce. As we've dug in and done some homework, in our opinion, Sitecore Commerce is actually very good for mid to large size companies.
So while we've focused on B2C in this demo, there are a number of considerations for B2B companies as well. Functionality for multiple catalogs, physical and virtual, to effectively manage products offered by certain business lines or geographies. Having an extensible platform from which to integrate with businesses who have their own internal e-procurement systems, or things that partners can help with, like product configurator capabilities that we showed you, or hierarchical account structures.
And last, and I think most importantly, Sitecore Commerce is mainly viable if you're either already on Sitecore's CMS or you're planning to migrate onto Sitecore CMS platform. So with that, if you do have any questions for us, feel free to email those us directly at askhi@horizontalintegration.com. And this is, again, is Arturo, VP of Client Strategy here at HI.
And this is Matt.
Thank you. Thank you again for your time today. Take care.